Welcome back to Capper Review. I'm Tasmin Mahfuz, and we just talked about the legislation D.C. Council says are solutions to combat crime, but some people are not sold on the idea, and that's also the D.C. Police Union. Joining us now is the chairman of the union, Gregg Pemberton. Gregg, thank you so much for being here with us. Welcome to Capper Review, and let's start with your reaction to the passing of these emergency bills. Is this the direction that you were hoping for?
Well, this is an optimistic direction. It's refreshing to hear the D.C. Council talking about things that hold criminals accountable and allow police to do their jobs. I think the problem that we have is that it's a drop in the bucket for what needs to get done in order to actually lower these crime rates and homicide numbers in a significant way. Let's keep in mind that 3 years ago, the City Council passed the Comprehensive Policing and Justice Reform Act with its 26 subtitles and 54 pages of anti-police, activist guided language, which prevents police officers from doing their jobs and has driven almost 1,200 police officers out of the agency over those past 3 years. So we're really looking for more action in that area to try to repeal some of those measures so that we can get the police department staffed properly, so that we can respond to these calls for crime, we can investigate them properly, and we can do more to get people in handcuffs and get them in front of judges down at D.C. Superior Court.
Yeah, so speaking of staffing, there is a shortage of officers. Crime is up across the district. That's including a 33% increase in violent crime. So what do you think is the foundation of the problem here?
Well, unfortunately, pretty much every process within the criminal justice system is broken. We don't have the right number of police officers. That's the major issue. But even though our members are going out, they're doing their job, they're arresting perpetrators of crime, they're typing warrants, they're getting people locked up. The prosecutors are not taking these cases seriously. You may have heard that the U.S. Attorney's Office only prosecutes about 30% of the cases we bring them. The Office of the Attorney General, which prosecutes juvenile crime in this city, papers almost none of the cases we bring them. Most of those cases end up in what they call diversion. And even when we do get cases past the U.S. Attorney's Office and the OAG into D.C. Superior Court, the judges and the juries are not holding these people accountable in a way that makes any impact on recidivism and the increases in crime.
Yeah, so in a tweet on the union's Twitter page, it says, while today was just a small step forward, it was incredible to watch a cottage industry of activist liars collectively lose in a landslide. So you guys don't see this as a win. What is the union saying here?
Well, unfortunately, the D.C. Council has been guided by a number of activist groups over the past 3 years. Activist groups that are pro-criminal, they're anti-police officer, they're looking to defund the police, they want to reduce the size and scope of the police department, they want to reduce the police department's ability to go out and do their job. And the City Council has kowtowed and abdicated to every single whimsical fantasy that any one of these activist groups, the vast majority of which are not even from D.C., they've kowtowed to everything they've wanted and passed that legislation. We now have the empirical data of what exactly those provisions do, which is significant increases in criminal activity and violent crime, in misdemeanor crime, and a significant reduction in the size of the police department. So it's nice to see that those people whose ideas have been abjectly proven as failures, it's nice to see them finally turn tail and run from the city.
Yeah, so what do you think is the next step then to keep families safe in the district?
The main thing we need is the right number of police officers. In 2020, we had about 3,900 police officers on this department. We're now below 3,300, which is a loss of about 600 police officers. That is a devastating loss to the Metropolitan Police Department. Until we can get those numbers back to some level of normalcy, I don't think you're going to see these numbers going anywhere. It is very positive for us to see the City Council actually debating and passing some measures that seem to help us, that seem to help the idea of holding criminals accountable. But frankly, I think it's just a drop in the bucket for where we really need to be.
So what are you hearing from police officers? Why is there such a shortage? Is it the salary, or is it the challenges of the job?
Well, the working conditions that the City Council has created with the legislation they've passed makes it almost impossible to be a police officer. And we're talking about going out doing your job professionally, responsibly, constitutionally. Officers are now still exposed to administrative penalties, criminal penalties, civil penalties if they go out and do their job as prescribed by the law. It is the provisions are so onerous, it is absolutely impossible for officers to get out of their car and do anything without exposing themselves and their career to some kind of jeopardy. So the city council, as we've been saying for 3 years now, needs to take a second look at what it was they did in 2020 in the Comprehensive Policing and Justice Reform Act, and start having legitimate, honest conversations about how we can repeal some of those things or amend some of those measures in order to make it reasonable for police officers to go out and do their job. Because the officers that we've had have many of them have left for other jurisdictions that don't have these onerous provisions and don't have to deal with these kind of dangerous situations. So it's really a question of whether or not they want the department to be properly staffed.
All right, Chairman of the DC Police Union, Gregg Pemberton, thank you so much for being here for your time.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.